Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show. It's half morning show, but it's all BS. And of course, you got half the Coco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom, here's Shaking the Room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, joining me there way across the pond on his side of the Atlantic, talking about that sexy little stud muffin himself, LK. Good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, indeed. It's finally great news. Starting next week. Do you remember how I used to be able to do these shows at stupid o'clock all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically, I'm going back to that job. Starting next week, I have 2 more shifts left at this current job. And then once they're done, I'm literally there like, yes. Like Raws, like I fell asleep at 3:30 a.m., which is really frustrating if you consider the fact Raw ends at 4. I fell asleep but just before. So again, I would like to apologise to Internet Infantry if you lived in England, stayed up for the review and there wasn't none, or if you're an American and you're waiting at 11:30. I do apologise, but I did do a review the day after, so check that out. But again, just want to stress, if you've ever been like on the fence, should I hit the subscribe button? I see how much content they put out and then look and then, but there's not really that much content there now. Hit that subscribe button because starting next week, I'm going to be back to where I was before, dishing out shitloads of content.
Yeah, there you go. Good to see we're back on track here. And speaking on track here, man, WWE NXT, they only had one match. It's just been a slow build. Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura, a match 3 weeks in the making. This was not for a championship, not for a number 1 contendership initially. It was no feud, no hatred, just 2 guys. WWE is just let them go. So, of course, I'm going to ask you, LK. I'm going to ask everyone here with the Internet Infantry, what did you think about tonight's show? Did you give it a win, a loss, or a tie?
But this has been the first time in a long time I'm going to give NXT a win. There isn't a takeover, because we give it a tie or a strong tie or maybe a weak win, but this gets a strong win. I really did enjoy this show. I liked the opening promo. I didn't like how it kind of felt they were, they wanted to gain time on the show with 18,000 Battleground commercials, 25,000 draft commercials. Like they played the same video package for Nakamura and Balor like 7 times. They also showed Finn Balor in the locker room. Then they showed him walking to the curtain. They did the same with Nakamura. It was like, guys, we're going to give you 45 minutes. Then like, oh, shit, they only went 30. Like, oh, fuck. Let's fucking bide some time. And the show finished at 54 past. I'm halfway through the Cruiserweight Classic. I just finished at Cedric Alexander and Clement Petro. I'm going to slaughter some of these names. And me and Booms, if you're off work tomorrow, Booms, do a review of that show.
Oh, absolutely. I decided I was going to watch it, and then you were like, no, we only really need to do NXT. I got to get through because for those of you who may not know, LK's over in England, and right now in Virginia, it's at the time of this recording, it's 10:20 p.m. I've waited a long time to do this review. But for LK, it's 3:20 in the morning, and I'm sorry, that sun's about to come up, and he needs to get his shut eye. He needs to get his beauty sleep. He's going to have a rough night tomorrow night of doing that Chip and Dale dancing or whatever the hell he does for his evening job, and I don't want to be responsible, for anything. So, going to try to get through this. I'm going to give it a win. I really enjoyed it. I mean, this is actually the second time that NXT has done something like this. Remember a few months ago in the build-up to TakeOver Dallas, you had Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe that went the entire length of the show. In fact, I think it went longer than this match, but I liked it. They replayed the vignettes they had, the friendship between the two. They talked about their past. They did a little quick setup with Samoa Joe coming out there a little irked, that it's all going to end with him, because he's pretty much saying that by default, even though it wasn't official, but by default, this is a number 1 contenders match, because these are 2 top stars going, and obviously whoever won, was to win this match was going to be, obviously in line or on the path to getting the championship match. He was interrupted by the returning Rhino. Rhino challenged him to a match. Samoa Joe looked like he was about to accept, but instead walked out and said, no. You do it on my time. You don't tell me when to fight. I let you know when you're going to get your match, and they're going to have that next week, which I'm looking forward to. But let me ask you this. Do you think the hype, everything, did you like the build-up, and did the match live up to the hype?
Okay, what? Sorry? I thought we were talking about the Joe promo.
Well, yeah. I like the whole setup to the whole show. The setup to the show that this is, that this is by default. You had Samoa Joe come out and this is pretty much a default, number one contenders match. And then you have Rhino, trying to get involved there. And then they go into the regular show and they do the vignettes, they do the walks. I mean, felt like a huge show. So did the show feel big, because they were building it up? Do you feel like the show, in the match, the only match they had, really lived up to the hype?
Yeah, it definitely lived up to the hype. It really did. I enjoyed the opening promo. Joe's what a great heel Joe is. Like, I'm not even joking. The crowd pissed me off in the first 5 minutes by singing Nakamura's song when Joe said the word Nakamura. Like, that pisses me off more. Why sing their song? Like, sing it when they're making their entrance is the only time I'll allow it. If you sing that song during a promo, during a wrestling match, during a backstage segment, during a video package, not allowed. That should be erased. Like, what is it with crowds? I mean, they ruined UFC 200. They ruined this promo for me. I couldn't I hate these Full Sail fuckers. Get out of that Full Sail University, please, for crying out loud. One idea that I've been floating around recently, that I've been talking about, is having the idea of maybe instead of Raw being 3 hours, have NXT is the opening hour leading into Raw, and then you have the NXT talent, the developmental. You'll have them compete and perform in front of a casual audience. Not just hardcore fucking wrestling fans at this Full Sail University that are going to pop for anything. I mean casual viewers. And then think about this. If they get over it with those casuals on NXT in front of, 15,000 people, then move them up to Raw. And if you say to me, oh, but what about the WWE Network, blah, 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 blah. Instead of having a takeover once every 3-4 months, have them once every month. And if you have to, put them at the Full Sail if you've got like contractual obligations to tape it Full Sail. And then that way you get an NXT pay-per-view a month, you get a SmackDown pay-per-view a month, you get a Raw pay-per-view a month. That was just my idea, and I've been floating that around recently. And what's your thoughts on that?
On improving Raw? Well, I would just say have longer matches.
No, I mean have NXT be an hour of Raw. So you have NXT, and then you have 2 hours of Raw.
Yes and no. I just don't think some of the guys with NXT are ready for that yet. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some that are ready, like, Nakamura, Joe, Balor, Rude. I mean, there's just Austin Aries. I'm trying to think, like, American Alpha. I mean, some of these guys are great, but I don't think you have enough to where you can consistently do that. I think what they're doing is the right path that NXT needs to take as far as making Raw better. I mean, I would say have longer matches. You need to build stuff up. You need to take your time. Try to actually trust your writers to tell a good story. Try to teach your athletes, how to tell a good story. Tell a good story in the ring via their matches. I produce 2 hours of TV on Saturday morning and 2 hours of TV on Sunday morning. And one of the things that I'll do to kind of help me out to fill more time is, I put what we call packages in. It's usually about these stories that, it's usually like the first thing you'll see in your news. There'll be like an intro. They'll go to like a reporter. The reporter will go, well, check this out, and they'll roll like some video, and it's like this, big, video and interviews, spliced in there together. It's usually about a minute and a half, usually. That helps me out. That's because it's less little bitty stuff I have to do, and plus the packages tell a better story because you have the opportunity to have more information in there, more natural sound, more interviews. You're able to wrap everything together, whereas just like just a video segment where you pop up some video and then there's just somebody kind of reading the story. You try to cram that down. That's usually about anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, depending on the story. And you don't have you just kind of have like the gist of it. It's short, sweet, to the point. Whereas a package, you could tell a better story. So I feel like if Raw did the package route, where they try to tell, did longer matches, try to do a better story, you wouldn't be struggling so much. But that's just the new I've been in TV for, God, this past month actually makes 8 years. So it's just.
But then with the idea of and the aspect of having longer matches, surely wouldn't that mean, like, one issue with Raw is that didn't actually occur this week was that they're just going out there and they're wrestling for the sake of having a wrestling match. There's not actually a story involved. Mm-hmm. So that means if those matches are longer, it's going to make them even more intolerable. So I think you can't really go down that route. And even though it is a lot of money, here's a perfect example. Okay, here is a perfect example. I'm sacrificing a bit of money to be able to go back to the old job so that I could podcast more, which makes my life happier. It makes me happier. Okay? Vince McMahon, he takes off 1 hour of Raw. It will cost him money, but it'll make him happier because the paying customers are happier, and he might have more paying customers, which in the long run can make him more money. That's the way how I look at this. I don't know why he doesn't chop off that third hour. It's not needed and it's not necessary.
Well, the reason why they're not going to get rid of it, and honestly, we need to get back to NXT here because we're starting to talk more about Raw here. But the reason why they're not going to get rid of that third is a couple of reasons. One, the sponsorship money. It's good. That's an extra hour of commercials, sponsors, more money you get to make, and plus it's one less hour that the USA Network has to fill.
Still, they could fucking replay whatever, put superstars on before. I can't bear it anymore. But we'll go back to NXT. Let's get back to NXT.
Get back to NXT. I like the flow of the match. It started out really nice and slow. They were kind of feeling each other out. Little arm drags, some arm twists there, a few kicks and punches. Some really quick pins. Counts for one. I really liked Finn Balor working the leg. He particularly, he drop kicked that knee, the left knee of Nakamura, then went to work on it. I like that combination where he had him in the corner. I think he elbowed him in the knee, flipped him over, jumped up off the rope, kneed him in the back of the knee. Nakamura just kept coming back, took him to the outside, kicked him, drug him over the ring apron, kneed him in the face, then came out and dropped the knee on the back of the neck. And that was the only time they ever went to the outside, which, to me, that spot kind of seemed out of place with everything that was going on, but it was okay. But for the most part, it settled in the ring. They both traded submissions. You had Balor with that Texas Cloverleaf like maneuver. You had Nakamura. He reversed. He had his first. He went for that flying armbar, which looks amazing, by the way. And then when Balor tried to reverse it, locked him into a triangle choke. Balor was lucky enough to get a leg on the rope. They kept going. They both took each other's finish maneuvers. Nakamura kicked out of a reverse 1916. Finn Balor kicked out of a Kinshasa to the back of his head. It eventually ended when Nakamura hit Balor with a Kinshasa from the second rope. But I think he did something like that similar in his Nakamura did something like that similar in his match against Ibushi a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I may be thinking of a different match, but that's what I'm remembering there. But No, the fans were completely into it. They were chanting dueling names, them both these guys, them fight forever, NXT. I mean, the crowd was just all into it. Corey Graves really sold it, saying, I can't even hear myself think, it's so loud in this building.
He did a great job. He did a great job. He did a great job all night.
Speaking of Corey Graves, there are rumors that he may go up and commentate with SmackDown.
Dude, I would love Mauro Ranallo, Corey Graves. That's it. You don't need anyone else. If you want SmackDown to feel different to Raw, you should fire Byron Saxton and just be Michael Cole and JBL, because the guy adds nothing to the table. He sits and smiles at the camera like a fucking toilet.
Honestly, I think I know why he does it. And I'm going to kind of sort of defend Byron Saxton. It's just because he kind of sees, I think he sees himself as the new guy. You've got Michael Cole and you've got JBL. Love them or hate them, they're the veteran ring announcers there. JBL is a wrestling veteran, and I feel like he just doesn't want to step on any toes. He doesn't want to be controversial. He doesn't want to kind of get any zingers or one-liners in there. So he's playing the straight guy, and it's making him look like a chump. And I think, to be honest, in my honest opinion, I think he's just too polite for his own good.
I think he's a piece of shit, but that's just my opinion. Back to Balor and Nakamura. I didn't notice the variation of camera work. Like, there was lots of frames, as always, in a fucking WWE match, where if you actually look at it closely, it hurts your eyes. Sometimes I notice it, sometimes I don't. I noticed at the start when they kept... Do you know when Nakamura does the leg shake in the corner? They cut to like 6 different camera shots, and it hurt my eyes. But there was a different camera being used during the opening stages, and I thought that was fucking awesome. I enjoyed the psychology aspect of Balor working Nakamura's left leg. Gonna be honest, Nakamura's selling was great until the heat ended, and his selling was a joke. He just forgot. He just forgot the heat of the moment. You just forget. It happens. I'm not critiquing again. We're not saying, oh, he should have done this. I'm just saying, on my notes here, I did not think that was at a Nakamura standard. When I have a wrestling standard, Nakamura standard, and I expect him to sell the leg the whole match. It's not difficult. But another thing I liked was the facials of both men when they kicked out of each other's respective finishes, and I love how it only took one proper Bomaye or whatever, whatever. I'm awful. It took me a while to learn the Bomaye. I now have to learn this Kuntasho. So Nakamura hit a Kuntasho, whatever. He only hit one, and then he got the win. The one to the back of the head, it was like, meh. But this was one got the win. Balor did not hit that coup de grace. He hit a standing one. He didn't hit one off the top. Only one finisher was took because they're protecting the finishers. This wasn't, a spot fest or a match where they kick out of 17 finishers like John Cena and Kevin Owens last year. They just went out there and beat the shit out of each other and told a great story. And they tried the element of psychology, because obviously the length of the match, but it just didn't work because they were working the leg just because it was something to do for the heel heat. Like, at the end of the match, was Nakamura selling the leg? No. During the end part of the match, minus a sick super kick to the leg, was the leg being worked upon? No. When I guess you could give it to Nakamura when he hit the Kentushu, whatever the fuck it's called, he did sell the leg. But I think because it's Nakamura and Balor, I'm expecting psychology done properly. Like, I would rather you go out there and not use any psychology at all than do it and do it wrong. In my opinion, if you do psychology wrong, deduct a star off automatically. I'm just a big psychology fan. If you do it and do it well, I'm going to bump your rating up. If you do it and you suck, I'm going to destroy you in the ratings, or bury you in the ratings. They were 50-50 here. I'm not going to bury it, but I just wish that Nakamura sold that leg because of the amount of time they spent and invested in working that leg. At least 5 to 10 minutes were spent working that leg, and to just ignore that part of the match means that part of the story is worthless.
All right, I think they sold it for, I'm really not going to argue about some of the use of psychology, but I think that would have drug it down if he would have kept selling it. I'm not saying you shouldn't sell it. But I think,
dude, if like for instance, during those punches, he could have like punched, and then Baylor could have punched. He dropped to one knee. He then punches that leg. Come on, that adrenaline, and then punch back. Like that, is that really difficult? And then you see Nakamura firing up. You know, that fighting spirit of the Japanese. Like that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. It would have helped the story a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's when you rely on the commentary team right there to kind of get that part over.
Yeah, but the commentators did pretty well, I think, in putting because I remember at one point he said, "Oh, Nakamura can't do that because of his leg," and then he had to cover it by saying, "Oh, Nakamura just had a burst of adrenaline when he's doing these stupid kicks in the corner," and I'm there like, "Oh my god, this is like."
Yeah, so I think that's kind of also a failure on part of the commentary team, but overall, I mean, I love the match.
Oh yeah, good match. I'm just being a nitpicky son of a bitch.
You know, they shook hands, fist bump, bowed. It was everything it should have been.
Yeah, it was great. It was just, it felt like two friends going out there trying to outdo each other and win a wrestling match, and that's what it was. So, minus the psychology element, I thought this was pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Now, next week, they've already announced 3 matches. Now, I've already mentioned Samoa Joe versus Rhino, but they've also said that Bayley and Nia Jax will tie it up. And then the Authors of Pain are looking like to have a match against American Alpha. So I'm already looking forward to next week. It's something simple. This is what we call in the business a tease. You're teasing ahead. You're promising something. So you've already given me a reason to watch next week, which I like. So why do I need to watch next week? Well, there's not 1, not 2, but 3 matches, and all of them actually kind of interested to see because American Alpha has a receipt, coming towards the Authors of Pain. You want to see Bayley, try to get her. This is the rubber match between Bayley and Nia Jax, and then Samoa Joe. Yeah, he's a big guy, but so is Rhino. So what's going to happen when these two bulls collide? I like the whole setup of it.
Yeah, but should you find this a coincidence that they're putting Baylor and Nakamura, the Alpha match, the Bayley match, the Joe match, in line with Ultima Lucha?
Oh yeah, this was no mistake by any means. Last week, and if you saw my review of Lucha Underground, I was it wasn't bad, but I was kind of disappointed with the first week of Ultima Lucha. But no, I don't.
Why there was dislikes on the video? I was wondering why there was dislikes. I thought you may have said something like wrong, and then you saying that makes it understandable now why you had dislikes.
And I'll defend it. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it either. I've got to watch. This week, but no, I don't think it's any mistake at all. I don't think it's any mistake whatsoever. I mean, they hyped up this match for 3 weeks, which falls on the second week of Ultima Lucha Dos, the Squeakle. And then, of course, you're going to have next week will be the final week of Ultima Lucha Dos, the Revenge, and you're going to have these 3 big matches coming up here, and then it's the season. Obviously, this next week's the season finale, so then they're going to go on hiatus for a while. I don't even know when they're coming back, but so no, I think it's no coincidence.
Bastards.
All right, you ready to do some questions and comments?
Go for it. Do we have a lot?
Yeah, we've actually got quite a few. Want to thank, let's see, Joe O'Hare, Ole Samuel, Ray Mastani, Gary North. I want to thank all you guys for joining us live here tonight. And anybody else, if I forgot you, I apologize. Let's see, Gary North, he gives the show a win and the Cruiserweight Classic. Of course, we'll have that review sometime within the next 24 hours.
Yeah. Same as Ultima Lucha as well.
Mm-hmm. Raymond Stein wants to know my thoughts on the final deletion in this week's Raw. I think I've already talked about the final deletion, but just in case, it's like I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. I guess maybe if I would have been watching it from the beginning, I would have loved it a lot more. But I was like, okay, I could see what the hype is all about, and props to Matt Hardy for making TNA somewhat relevant again. So. But no, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like bad. I thought it went a little crazy when I could almost buy into everything except for when Willow popped out of the lake.
Dude, that was funny because then it turned out to be Senor Benjamin. That was awesome.
He was the one who wound up wearing the mask at the end. But no, remember, because Matt Hardy shoves Jeff Hardy into the lake. It's like, okay, and it's actually Willow come that part. It's like that part. It was like, okay. And shooting Roman candles at each other. No, don't ever do that, kids. Never do that. And my thoughts on this week's Raw, honestly, I didn't even watch Raw this past week. I just read the results and followed LK's review. No, it didn't sound like it was too bad. I just don't know if I'm going to go back and watch it.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Ray Mustai's got a good question here. Who's being brought up from the NXT for the draft? There's a lot of names flying. I know that Finn Balor seems to be inevitable. Shinsuke Nakamura, his name was in the mix. American Alpha was in there. I know they were talking about Nia Jax, Bayley, and maybe even Asuka being brought up. That's just the ones that I've heard, though. Have you heard any?
I've heard a little bit of revival, but with Baylor, I mean, every week it depends where you go. Like on Twitter, every week it's like, oh, you heard it from me first. Finn Balor's making his debut. It's like if you're a dirt sheet out there and you're not Dave Meltzer on the Observer or Keller in the Torch, you're like, you know what? Baylor's debuting next week. Like Pro Wrestling.me, we may as well every single Monday just put Finn Balor will debut on tonight's Raw. And you know how they get you because they put potential spoiler in the title. Like, I hate clickbait more than anything in the world. Potential spoiler, NXT star making a debut in NXT tonight. And then you click on it and I'm like, I bet you £50 is Finn Balor. Oh, Finn Balor's there. It's like, Finn Balor has meant to be on Monday Night Raw now for the past, should we say 30 weeks, according to these sites.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not, like, if it doesn't come from the Torch or the Observer, quite frankly, I don't believe it. So they're the only two I check out.
Here's actually a funny story. When I first started out on Internet Wrestling Radio, I went with a partner, and, I've still kept in touch with him over the past years. And he even started like a little wrestling like fan group or whatever on Facebook. So he invited me, so I joined on it. And they posted things from time to time. And this was like months ago. They said this was back when John Cena had the U.S. Championship and he was doing the open challenges. So he posted out this big alert. Like, you heard it here first. Daniel Bryan will be the one who answers John Cena's open challenge. I've got an inside source, and I said it's a 90% lock. I'm like, holy shit, really? And then that was the one where Alberto Del Rio returned. And then it was about a few weeks later, he was making another prediction. I said, oh, is that the same source that said that Daniel Bryan was the one returning? He goes, hey, I said it was only a 90% chance that he was going to return. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to teach you about percentages.
I don't know. They bless them. They're in their own little bubble. I just leave them to it. I don't get involved. I just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. It's funny. Like every Monday, I rub my hands and gasp at what could possibly be happen. Like I look at these. Like one example, I find hysterical. That we shouldn't plug, but I'm gonna plug it because it's fucking hysterical. This ringside news, okay? It's the funniest thing. Like at the top, they had the biggest clickbait you've ever seen in your whole entire life. Like, it's disgraceful how bad their clickbait is. And the comments below is like, you clickbait fucker, you clickbait fucker, you clickbait fucker. And it's like, they post, like, say the Observer reports something, they'll post like Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer says, and then says it. So it's like, I clicked on your link to see what Dave Meltzer says. Why don't I just go to the Observer and get it factual? Like, I don't understand sites that do that. Like, I don't understand sites that say, Dave Meltzer reported this. Like, why would I click that? Why would I click that when I could just go to the site?
The idea behind that is because they know they don't have any credibility, but they know that Dave Meltzer does. But there's a lot of people who are cheap motherfuckers who just don't subscribe to the Torch and the newsletters, whatever that Meltzer runs. But they know if they that they may, and then they'll just copy and paste that and go, well, Dave Meltzer says that, so there they go. They get this story here that they didn't come up with. They copied and pasted it from a guy who has some credibility on their site, and their readers can read the stuff without having to pay for it. I guess that's maybe their draw. At least that's what I would guess.
That's fair. That's why on PWME you will never see that story. I admit I'm subscribed to the Torching Observer. I find the audio content very awesome when I'm at work or at break on work, or if I'm cooking or if I'm doing whatever. I like listening to a Keller Hotline or Observer Live or a Brian and Vinny show. I'll admit that. I find them entertaining, but to copy and paste what they say and take away subscribers from them when that's their livelihood, that I find wrong. That's why I never post stuff like that.
Okay. The next question here is from Ray Mastani again. Will Ambrose lose his title? I've heard yes. I've heard he's going to lose it sooner rather than later. Hell, he may lose it on a Raw. In fact, I don't know if this is going to happen before or after Battleground, but what I'm hearing is, please take this for what it's worth. Is I read the same things you guys read, and that is that they're trying to create some buzz for SmackDown, so they may have it where he loses on a Raw and has to go on SmackDown, or may lose it on a SmackDown. But to me, it doesn't make any sense, because I thought, well, if they're going to go that route, why not have Dean Ambrose hang on to the Money in the Bank and then cash it in right there on the TV show and create some buzz that way? But that's just me.
Yeah, Ambrose is facing Rollins on Raw for the title, so maybe he might drop it then. But I don't know about Ambrose. I'm kind of going off him a little bit. Like, he just doesn't name me a great Dean Ambrose match. Doesn't have one. Mediocre. I'm not even. Fuck Hill. I don't care. Ambrose is mediocre. Name me a great Dean Ambrose match that's not a 6-man tag. Ambrose AJ a few weeks ago, nah. Ambrose, I can't even remember Ambrose Brock at Mania stunk.
Ambrose Rollins a Hell in a Cell, except for the ending.
Dude, that's a year ago you have to go back to remember a good Dean Ambrose match. He's been in the ring with Brock Lesnar, and magic did not happen. That says it all. I mean, Mark Hunt can go and have a fake MMA fight with Brock and make it decent. Ooh, shots fired. Dude, that was did you see UFC 200?
I have not.
Oh, dude, some of those. Basically, Lesnar had Mark Hunt down for the final 5 minutes, and he's there going I could have taken I've been punched once in my life. I would have taken those punches. If you paid me what Mark Hunt got paid, I'd have gone in and took those punches. I'm not even joking you. They look like quote from a person from my work. That looked like that fake wrestling shit. What was Brock doing? That was the quote. That was an exact quote. And it was funny because I put a bet on it. Because I think UFC is very, very fixed, very rigged. Because it's a business, and business makes money. And they make a lot of it. So I think it's fixed. I said, look, I bet you £10 Brock's going to win. And it's not, Mark Hunt will not get knocked out, because then he can keep his credibility. He'll take a fall, but he won't take a proper fall. And Brock won by decision. I took my money and I ran with it.
How much money? No, I'm not going to ask, but anyway. Will brand pay-per-views improve the product?
It depends.
It didn't improve it last time.
I don't know. You say that. I don't know, because then, you're getting the mid-card and even the lower mid-card on there, which helps them, I just think it's great. I'm pumped for this draft. I'm generally pumped. I like the idea of this draft, because then it gives you guys like a Darren Young. If it wasn't for the draft, he wouldn't be number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. It gives guys like The Miz to get a long pay-per-view match. It gives Ziggler a chance to get on pay-per-view again. It gives, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, Randy Orton, a lot of time again. It just means that people who you wouldn't normally see on a pay-per-view that you like a Cesaro, he could be on there having a great long match. So that's the way I look at it. I'm trying to stay positive with this draft because no other fucker is. So I'm trying to stay positive.
Speaking of matches, longer matches or shorter matches?
What do you mean?
Well, that's the question from Raymond Stein. Longer matches or shorter matches?
It depends what story they're trying to tell. Like, that was perfect for a long match. If that was short, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. But because it was long, they could tell the story. But I don't know. It depends. Like, if I've got a lot of time, obviously I want a long match. But I wouldn't like a show full of long matches. I want long, short, 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 long, short, 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 long. You know, I want a bit of distance and separation.
I prefer longer. You know, I mean, there's some matches that do need to be short, but on the general part, I prefer longer matches. You know, you need to get invested in the characters, invested in the match, invested in the story they tell, and I think you can do that with a longer match. When I mean long, I don't mean like super long. I don't mean like every match has to be like a, you know, for me to be interested and like it, it has to be 30 minutes. No, if you just give me about 10, you know, that's usually
Dude, that's
works.
short. That's short. 10 minutes is short. When you meant long, I thought you meant like this.
Let's see. What will happen with Roman Reigns' character? Hopefully, he will die on his way back to his home planet.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't even think they know. I don't even care. Like, I'm past beyond caring. Like, if Reigns wins, like, that's just the biggest spit in the face to any. Hey, he just got back from failing a drug policy. Hey, do you want to become world champion? Yeah, you are world champion now. Like, oh, come on. I'm expecting a really fucked up finish though for Battleground. I got a feeling, like a real fucked up, like a double pin, or everyone's laid out, or something like that, where. It's like who can win, and then it's like, oh, one match can be for the WWE Championship, the other match can be for the World Championship, or I don't know. But I think we are going to get the World Champ. That's my bold prediction. We're going to get the World Championship back, which makes me a happy champion. Everyone who's like, no, we should just have one belt. I would hate having one belt more than anything on the planet. I would hate that, because then one minute you're like, oh, okay, he's feuding him, but at the same time he's feuding him. So that's not really that personal, is it? Like, because then what would you do if, say, there was a SmackDown pay-per-view 2 weeks after the Raw one, and they've already started building to that, but the person you're building with lost that at the Raw pay-per-view. So now you're like, the SmackDown guy is now facing the new Raw champ. Oh, God, it'll get so fucking confusing. Just saying it now makes me confuse myself, and I'm the one talking. So just have two belts and be fucking done with it. Have it like it was. The World title on SmackDown or Raw, the WWE Championship on SmackDown or Raw. One brand gets the IC, one brand gets the US. Tag teams, fuck them off for all I care. Not even joking, fuck them off for all I care. Women's division, fuck them off for all I care. No, I'm joking. Women's should be exclusively to Raw like it was.
Let's see. And everybody keeps asking us, who do we think is going to be the Raw general manager? Now, the rumor is that Daniel Bryan's going to be the SmackDown general manager.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, storyline-wise, it could make sense with Triple H. That could be one, but I mean, you got to think close to Stephanie, who she could bring back, who she's been close with in the past. I'm just thinking, and we haven't seen Triple H, so you could do that return pop, if there is such a thing now for Triple H, considering how consistently he was on the TV program. But, I think Triple H, and then you could have loads of the NXT guys come to Raw, because what I think they're doing is they're actually having the owners, or commissioners as they call them, what a joke, the commissioners pick who they want. Like, it's not like a draft lottery. I think it's like a pick. So if you have Triple H there, then maybe because she has Triple H, they have access to the NXT guys. I don't know, but apparently this came out today on the network. Simultaneously, they're doing a live network show where they're like breaking it down. So during the commercials, it will continue on the network, which is a pretty cool aspect.
I hope they do the draft like they did the first ever draft. You had Vince McMahon, and then you had Ric Flair. They were picking for their particular branch. You had Vince picking for Raw, Ric Flair picking for SmackDown. And the idea was that they would have like 10 picks, and then afterwards you'd have a supplemental draft after the show, and people would wind up at different places, and they were kept posting that on WWE.com. what I think you should do, that's what I think they should do. Excuse me. I think they should that should be the show. They should since you got 3 hours now instead of 2, I might bump that up to 15. 15 picks a piece.
No, they're doing it on Smack. They're doing it on SmackDown.
Okay, well, 2 then. Okay, about 10 a piece, and then I would have like a little post show. I think you even suggested this. Go on the WWE Network and just do like an original content of just, okay, here's where these people are going to wind up, and kayfabe the hell out of it. But there you go.
This is how simple. You have Corey Graves. You have Booker T. No, not Booker T. You have Corey Graves and Renee Young, okay? They're in the headquarters where they have that stupid green screen gimmick. And then, because it's a draft, you could go boom, 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 then have a picture of a guy, have a Raw logo or a SmackDown logo, and then say, Corey Graves say, yeah, he's a former US champ, he's a former cocksucking world champion. And then you move on. It could be a 10, 15-minute program. But who cares? Because then at the end of the show on SmackDown, people are like, oh, but what happens with, say, Cesaro? Where's he going? We haven't seen Cesaro yet. They're like, oh, on the network. What's the network? Type in the network. Oh, free for a month. Boom. Simple. Easy money. They better do that. They'll do that. I know they're dumb, but they're not that dumb. I'm pretty sure they'll do that.
First one's always free. Let's see. Ray Mastani's asking us to rebook the picks from the first WWE draft. No, thank you, because I'm not going to do that. They're saying, and then Daniel Price makes a comment saying here, moving SmackDown to Tuesday and making it live was an attempt at dealing a death blow to TNA, but they just ended up moving to Thursdays. So watch Vince eventually move SmackDown to Thursdays. No, I think they're going to keep it on Tuesdays. And I think, it only made sense that TNA would do it. In fact, I would be willing to bet you almost any amount of money that this was done intentionally, because they knew that TNA would have to move. And what better night to move it to? Because if they move it to Wednesday, then they'd be competing with NXT. But if they move it to Thursdays, now they're competing with Lucha Underground. And they want a lot of those Lucha Underground talents. So what better way to maybe try to run Lucha Underground out of business than by having them compete with Impact, which is on more cable subscribers carry than the El Rey network. And then once that goes off the air, boom, you can pick up those guys. Or if it goes the other way around, Lucha Underground gets a lot of momentum and TNA goes out of business, it's a win-win.
Impact's moving to Thursdays, right?
Right.
I don't get the Lucha. Right. Firstly, the question.
Okay.
SmackDown going to Tuesday was not a shot at TNA. It's simple. It's the production team. That you can't say, oh, look, come on a Monday,
wait a minute. Dude, then come on a Thursday. Sorry, I'm going to make a correction. Lucha Underground is Wednesday night, so I'm sorry. I kept thinking, I got my days mixed up. Sorry, it's about to be midnight.
That's what
I apologize. I'm getting I'm like, it's like almost like we're about an hour away from like Thursday, and I'm thinking Thursday ahead when it's really tonight, so my bad.
It's okay. We forgive and we forget. It's already forgone. Yeah, the reason they're going to go live on Tuesdays is because obviously the production team, they can't have them go, oh yeah, come on a Monday, then come on a Thursday, then come on a Sunday. You can't do that. If it's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's fine. You get the truck, you drive to one city, you then drive, and then you go back home instead of driving, going home, driving, going home, driving, going home. It just doesn't make any financial or logical sense. So you just do it all in one hit. And what I like about this actually is, we just say it's a pay-per-view weekend. You have a Sunday pay-per-view, Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, Wednesday NXT. Then you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to just watch all the other professional wrestling. I like that a lot.
That's good. All right. Let's see. Looking here, I think that's about everything. Do you want to take one question from Ray Mastani? Because you know what's coming.
The King of Porn style question, yeah?
The King of Porn. Okay, let's see. What was his one question here?
I'm trying to see one.
He's already got it here. I skipped over it because. Okay, I'm surprised if Ray Mastani gets his ass kicked. It's on him. How can you gain confidence around women for someone who is a little shy? This is for his friend. Can you rephrase that question? how can you gain confidence? And for those of you playing along at home, Ray Mastani is the king of porn style here at the Internet Inventory. He always asks these, questions about his love life and personal life, and for some reason we keep answering them. But he asked him so much, we finally just cut him down to one. He gets like one of these questions per show, so this is his one question. How can you gain confidence around women, for someone who is a little shy? Okay, so apparently his friend is shy and is too scared to talk to girls. So he wants to know, how can he get his confidence up so he'll go over and start talking to women?
I don't know. Just man up. I don't know. Like, I think, like, in all honesty, like, this helps with confidence. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, this does help with confidence. I don't know if you find that, but it does help a little bit with confidence.
Couple of shots.
If you're going out, and I mean out as in town, pub, having an alcoholic beverage, have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 alcoholic beverages, and that'll, sort his shyness out in a heartbeat. But if you're in like a sixth form or a college or a school, I don't know. There's not really a cure for that. There's nothing you can do about that. You just have to man up. If he wants to ask a girl out, realize, okay, if she says, it may be the most embarrassing 5 seconds of your life if she says no, but it is only 5 seconds.
Yep.
Like, what's the word? If it's just talking to women, what's the worst that can happen? You're only talking to a woman. Okay, you're not fucking smacking their ass. You're not groping them or anything. As long as you're not doing that and you're just talking, what's wrong with just talking? It's just like talking to a human being. They are still human beings, And then if like, oh, why are you flirting? Just be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the fort. You said flirting. I'm just talking to you. We're human beings. We can talk. We could talk. Just, I don't know. Just, it's hard.
Okay.
It's difficult.
All right, Ray. My solution to the problem is for your friend, whose name happens to be Ray Mastani for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, get your friend, and I need to hurry up and wrap this up because we're losing viewers by the second here. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that.
Bastard.
Do this shit for you. Get your friend with get him with a couple of at least a couple of wingmen, and just go out. And then that way, if he says what he's going to say, and then he can tag out the conversation. He's not expected to carry the conversation the entire time.
Good plan.
Just kind of ask him oh yeah, well, tell her about such and such, and you tell your story, and then she listens to it, and then she talks back, and then if you don't have anything to say, hey, you got your buddies right there to kind of carry the weight, and then go down from 2 wingmen to 1 wingman, and then eventually you'll have to go out on your own, young Padawan.
Just gotta do it, man. Just gotta do it. Just listen to some YouTube motivational videos before you go out.
Or just do a shit ton of alcohol. But then again, if you live over here in the U.S., drinking age is 21. Unlike over there in Europe, where it's like if you can see over the fucking counter, they'll sell you a bottle of hooch.
No, they're pretty strict. To be fair, they're pretty strict. Like, I get ID'd, and I'm fucking 19 years old.
Yeah, 19. I had to wait till I was 21 before I could buy. Actually, no. Well, I don't know if I should. Well, hell, I can tell you this now. I think the statute of limitations has run out on this one. But I remember when I first went to college. Over here in the U.S., legal drinking age is 21. So when I was doing, this is back during like my fraternity days and stuff, I'd just get people to buy stuff for me, and then we just bring it back to the house, and we just start, pounding them down. And hell, I'd drink anything in front of me. And then I remember I was only about a few weeks away from my 21st birthday, but for some reason, I don't know why. I think I was trying to impress a girl. I don't know. I went to like this gas station that was just off campus. And it was kind of like late. It was around 10:30 at night. I go in there, and I was like, and you're probably going to laugh at me here, but again, it was to impress a girl, I think. I bought like a 6-pack of Smirnoff Ice.
Oh, God.
Dude, yes, people can call it bitch beer, whatever. I don't give a shit. Fuck it. She was going to drink it, whatever. It's what she wanted, so all right, whatever. So hey, when you're like 20 and you're trying to get some tangy, you'd be surprised what you'll do. Anyway, So I set it down on the counter, and they go, okay, can I see? And I was like, please, God, don't. And they're like, can I see your ID? And I'm like, okay. So I hand them, like, I put my ID, and then I see the clerk trying to do the math in her head. And I said, well, no, yeah, this is the, because like I said, my birthday is only a few weeks away. A few weeks away, and I'll begin to clear. And I said, oh, no, that's the right, it's because that was the year I would have turned, and it was the year I was turning 21. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay. So then she rang up, sold to me. And then a few weeks later, once I actually turned 21, I go up there to go buy some more booze. And I'm sitting down, and this time I'm ready for it. I'm reaching in my back pocket, ready to get my ID out. And the second time, they just beep, 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 boop. Okay, you're done. I'm like, fuck, I could have been doing this more often.
No, it's the way it works. When you can get ID, they don't ID you, and when you obviously don't want to be ID'd, it's when they ID you. It's like they know, they like sense that little fear look in your eye. It's got to be.
Oh, it's got to be. And then okay, I'm going to share this one more story here about buying booze when I was when I was in college, and you're going to get a good laugh at it. Now, LK, for the rest of the internet infantry, I got to ask you a question. Now, okay, let's just say you are not of age to purchase purchase alcohol. So you go into the store, pulling it off the shelf, sitting on the counter, and paying for it is off the shelf. What would you do? What is something that you might do to get alcohol if you were underage? What is something you would do? Just anything. Throw me a suggestion out. What would you do?
Parents.
Okay, parents, that's an option.
Friends that are older.
Okay, friends that are older.
Friends' parents.
Okay. See, these are good.
Older relatives that if your parents won't, older relatives that won't tell the parents.
There you go. Okay, so these are all viable solutions here. So I had a friend of mine that came up to me and said,
"Oh God, don't say this story as if you've given someone a blowjob for the fucking booze."
No. And this was like a dude, it's a fraternity brother of mine, and he says, hey, so we were having like some kind of party that night. He's like, yeah, I need to go get some, I said, oh yeah, just tell me what you want, I'll go get it for you. I was like, no, I want to go with you. And I was like, no. He's like, no, I was like, just tell me what you want and I'll get it. He says, no. I was like, I really don't know what I want. So, we'll just go and we'll go look. And I was like, you gonna wait in the car? He's like, no, I'm not gonna wait in the car. I'm gonna go into the liquor store with you, and I'm gonna pick out what I was like, dude. You're gonna get me in a shit ton of trouble. He's like, no, be cool. So he came up with this plan. That the plan was, he was gonna go in there. He was gonna go into the liquor store and act like he was following me, and we were both gonna be looking, but he was the one really looking for alcohol. And what he was gonna do when he found what he wanted, he was just gonna kind of discreetly just point to it. I would just take it off the shelf, and I was 21. I was over 21 at the time, and I was gonna, and he already gave me the money, so I was gonna just, pay for it, go get the car and go home. So we walk into like this mom and pop package store, and the first, not the second, no, the first goddamn thing he does, as soon as we walk in there, he strikes up a conversation with the woman running the store. And when I say like, no, I don't mean like, okay, hey, where's the whiskey at, or where's the vodka at, or, no, it was, yeah, I'm looking for, a wine here, and I'm just like, oh shit, and she's showing him all this wine. It's like, well, this one's a good after dinner one. This one's good if you're trying to, help your cholesterol. This one. It's this is a little pricey, but it's very smooth. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh Jesus Christ, I'm about to go to fucking jail. I'm on the outside, I'm just like, calm, whatever. I'm just kind of walking around, but inside, I'm thinking, oh fuck, I'm going to goddamn jail. And then so now, after he striked up this conversation, he picks out like this fucking bottle of wine or something. I don't know. Honestly, I didn't fucking know. I didn't fucking care, because I'm freaking the fuck out. And he sets it on the counter, and he looks back over me like, like, Jeeves, pay the woman. And she just kind of looks at him like, what? And she goes, and basically she realizes right then and there no, I'm not going to sell you. You're underage. And he says, well, I was like, no, I'm going to get him to buy it. He points to me. He's like, no, I'm going to get him to buy it.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I'm going to fucking jail. I'm going to fucking kill you, you motherfucker. When we go to goddamn jail, I'm going to kill you in that goddamn jail cell. And so now he goes, well, and then I guess he thinks better of it for somewhat. And then he goes, well, can I at least buy a pack of cigarettes from you? Because they also sold cigarettes there too. And you have to be younger to buy smokes here in the U.S. And she's like, hell no. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm trying to get the fuck out the door. And he comes out. We get in the car. And I'm just thinking she's calling the goddamn cops. And I'm driving it. And I look over to him. And I'm like, what in the fuck were you thinking? He's like, he's just all nonchalant. It's like, oh, man, it's no big deal. I'm like, yes, it is. And eventually he tells me he wants, I think, one day he'll get I think he said on some rum or something. And so I had to go another place. I had to go to an ABC, to an actual state store to go get that. And I said, you sit in the goddamn car and you don't say a fucking word. And I walked in there, got that, and it took me over an hour just to buy this motherfucker fucking booze. Something that should have taken me 10, 15 minutes with the drive and everything. It took me over an hour because of that bullshit. No, it was not Mad Dog. Daniel Price wants to know if it was Mad Dog 2020. Old times, my friend, but no. God, I haven't had Mad Dog. It reminds me of Cisco because I took a sip of that stuff. That was like drinking cough syrup. Might have been. I had some friends that went on the cheap. They would drink Thunderbird and Wild Irish Rose, which is extremely cheap wine. I mean, I think you can only get that stuff in ghetto quickie marts.
Cheap alcohol's grim. Oh.
Yeah. Oh God, we used to buy Keystone Light and start playing beer pong.
Yeah, that's the only use it really has, I guess. Mm-hmm. I guess the only reason they created cheap beer is so that alcoholics, that live on the streets can still, do their part.
Actually, I did drink some cheap booze actually from your side of the pond. It was just called K.
No, that's Kronenberg's. The logo's a giant K.
It was like a black bottle with a red K on it. It was like a cider. Yeah. It was a hard cider, and I think they quit selling. I think that place either they quit selling in the U.S. or the whole company went out of business.
I know that there's Kronenberg, which is a beer, and then there is Kroppenberg. That's a big K. That's good. I love Kroppenberg. It's a nice cider, actually.
Yeah, it was.
We need to stop talking about alcoholic beverages.
Making you thirsty, I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this thing up here. We'll tell everybody, okay, stay here. Keep it, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Coming up within the next 24 hours, we're going to review the Cruiserweight Classic. Sammy and I are going to review Lucha Underground. Okay, do you have something? Okay, do you have something to say?
Do I get an invite?
Yeah, if you're available, yeah, we'll definitely throw you in there.
Of course, I'll be available. Just hit me up.
All right. Then you be sure to check out. Okay, he's already got a Monday Night Raw review in the can. Did you have a TNA review this week? I forget.
I'm doing TNA for my VIP, which is a great plug. lkovip.podbean.com, 99 pence. That's about $1.05. This time, it's proper. I've already uploaded 15. Well, let's just say it this way. When the page comes up, you have to click older episodes. I've covered PWG, talking Bowler. I've done Raw review, like I said. I'm doing a Ring of Honor review tomorrow. I've already watched the Ring of Honor. TNA review will be for VIP, so we don't get any fucking heat on the channel. Also, news stories covered Brock Lesnar, covered UFC, covered everything. So if you want more of me, and some guy in the comments says a great idea for VIP, and then one day you can quit your job. Boom, bingo. Think about it. We have 7,000 subscribers, Booms. 7,000, give or take. Okay. So just say 800 to 1,000 of them put £1, that's 99 pence, $1.05. 800. That's £800. I could live off that a month. Think about that. You just imagine how many shows you get for just 99 pence a month. That could be my full-time job. No, just saying, guys. Just saying. Subscribe. Just saying. Links in the description once I've fucking published it. Just saying.
To be young and ambitious again. And then we're going to have coverage of Battleground a week from Sunday, so be sure to check that out. Of course, we're going to have reviews of the draft and as soon as everything, when all that goes down, be sure to check us out at prowrestling.me. I got another package in the mail this past week. It was, this time I did Wrestle Crate.
I need to check that out, actually. I got a day off to
check that out. Oh, yeah. And then I got to do one more. I'm going to do Slobber Knocker Box. And then then I have run the whole gambit of all the wrestling subscription services. But you can find that on the blogs there at prowrestling.me. And then, of course, you can always check out the mothership, KocoSports.com, KocoSports.net. Takes you to the same place. Your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. So, LK, plug your VIP section one more time, and then we're going to bounce.
Okay, so remember, just saying, that should be the logo, like sign up, just saying. Yeah, at www.lkvip.podbean.com. And this time, you'll be eligible, like it's a proper podcast network, it'll be eligible on your mobile device, tablet, laptop, PC. If you're on your way to work, because it's on the Podbean, because obviously you'll have a membership, you'll be able to download it. And when I mean download, it's going to take up loads of your phone memory. I mean download for offline playing. So you'll actually be able, just say you're on your way to work and a news story happened and you're like, oh fuck, what happened? No problem, LKVIP, refresh the page, boom, click it, and then think of all the ladies you'll pick Rey Mysterio on your way to school, driving your car, listening to LKVIP. Who's that? Oh, that's LKVIP. Oh, sign up. Yeah, sign up. Give them the little business card, Ray. See, look, you help me, I help you. That's how that rockin' fucking works.
Rey Mysterio, he's going to be Matthew McConaughey's character from Dazed and Confused. He's going to be that older guy. He's going to grow a porn stash. He's going to be that older guy who still hangs around high school. He's going to be like talking to like freshman girls, but like, I get older, but they stay the same.
Oh, yeah. So just sign up now, right now. No,
all right. That's going to do it for us. Like, subscribe to us. We'll catch your ass down the line. But in the meantime, this is Boom Boom for LK and the rest of the Coco crew saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.